Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. Today we'll be talking about the 53-man roster for the Philadelphia Eagles. The final roster is finalized on Tuesday, so this is my prediction for the Philadelphia Eagles. Starting off with the quarterback position, we only kept two quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Tanner McGee. Tanner McGee showed out in those preseason games that he was a part of, and Marcus Mariota, he didn't play too great in those preseason games. The only reason why I'll see them keeping him is because he has a similar play style to Jalen Hurts, and he's still a veteran, but take up a roster spot for a guy that probably won't play that great if he goes out there. If Jalen Hurts goes down, Marcus Mariota is your guy. I wouldn't be too confident. I'd rather have Tanner McGee out there. And even though he's not a running quarterback, I feel like he will make the right choices. Keep the turnovers down at a minimum. He is still a rookie, so he probably will make a mistake out there, but I think he'll keep it at a minimum. Where Marcus Mariota, he could probably fumble and make a bad decision. All right, the starting five for the offensive line: Kelsey, Mulatto, Lane Johnson, Dickerson, and then Jurgens, who's gonna make his first start, I believe, right? His first official start, regular season start. I mean, he's a center, but he's gonna be playing right. He's a center, but he's gonna be playing right guard for this year. But he's still a talented guy. He has big, long arms, and he's really good at pulling. He's good at run blocking like that. He's literally like Kelsey. He's literally like Kelsey. It's pretty crazy. So that's the starting O-line for the Eagles. So here's your backups. The Alabama guy, he's going to stay. He selected him in the 6th round. He showed some good stuff out there. And the rest of these guys, And then you got the rest of these guys. We got Swift, Penny, Gainwell, Boston Scott. I would start Swift. Penny would be the backup. Gainwell would be the 3rd string back. Scott would be the 4th. I don't know if he'll dress up or anything, but he'll still be on the roster. He's good enough to be on a roster. But right now, Gainwell is the starter. And in my opinion, since he's the starter, that means they're trying to trade. And the person who will be traded will be Swift because he's talented. A lot of teams are probably interested in him more than any of these other backs. So Swift will probably be the one being traded, and that's why Gainwell's the starter right now. Because in my opinion, Swift is a phenomenal back. He's an every down back. He can receive, run up the gut, he can run outside. But the only concern for him is injuries. So starting him early in the season, and if he gets hurt early or mid-season, he will probably be able to come back later in the season to play in those big games where it really matters. Where if you start Gainwell, maybe he gets a little banged up, and then you have Swift who plays later in the season, and then he gets hurt. He just gets hurt. And then you got Penny, but Penny, he gets hurt every season as well. So it literally will all come down to Gainwell, and that's why I would have him as my 3rd string back, because the first two guys are injury liabilities, and then Gainwell should be your old reliable, a guy who you could rely on to know the plays and to get the job done, So that's why I would have Gainwell number 3, because I trust him more to be there later in the season. Alright, so the receiving core, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, those are the obvious ones. But then I got Allen. He's your special teams guy. He's a speedster. He's your guy. So you just signed Swain a day before the last preseason game, so he should make the roster realistically. And I think he's a perfect receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles because he could work inside the numbers right there. Devontae Smith could do it as well, but he's a little, he's a little frail. You don't want him to be inside with the linebackers. He's more of an outside the numbers guy. And Swain, he's that guy. He could take a hit, and he's a solid route runner, but he's good at catching the ball and making things happen after. So those are the guys that I think are for sure on the roster. Alright, it comes down to these 3 guys right here, though. You only can keep 2 of them. Greg Ward, Watkins, and the guy they got from the Atlanta Falcons. He got hurt the second preseason game, but I think it was a little injury. And then Quez Watkins, he's been on the Eagles for a while now. He did drop a big time pass in the Super Bowl, so you can't do nothing about it. It's in the past, so it really comes down to who you like more or who has more special teams. Who could work in the special teams. Greg Ward, I believe he works on special teams as well. There's the option where you could let Greg Ward walk and then just pick up a receiver that another team drops. I think that's the move right there. You keep one of these fast guys and then you let Greg Ward walk and you pick up a big body receiver. Because if you look at this receiving unit, the only big body receiver here is A.J. Brown. If A.J. Brown goes down, your receiver core is pretty thin. You're pretty undersized. I think the unit would just be good with a bigger body receiver. Tight end position, I have Dallas Goedert, Stoll, Dan Arnold to be the final tight end. Only have 3 here. I really believe you only need 3. I don't think you need 4. Dallas Goedert is obviously a starter. Stoll could be your second, third string. I think you could go either or. But the reason why I'm keeping Dan Arnold is because he's pretty solid at run blocking. He's pretty solid at run blocking. He's good at pulling and picking up blocks like that. And I think he'll be really good in that run game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Special teams, it's your guys. These guys on the roster are going to be the ones that make it. Jake Elliott, your long snapper and your punter. It's nothing too crazy here. And then for the cornerback position, James Bradbury, Slay, and then Maddox. Maddox in the slot, Slay outside, Bradbury outside as well. But it gets a little tricky right here for the backups. Man, I didn't really know who to pick. I put L. Ricks. He looked good in the preseason, but that last game he didn't look too great. And I picked Joe B, physical long corner. But they do need another slot corner. The slot corner, unfortunately, I think got a season-ending injury. So it's kind of iffy right there. But I do believe these guys are the better picks right now. Ringo, I'm not a fan of Ringo. I don't think they cut Ringo or anything like that. I think he's the one that does make the team. But I think Ricks and Joe B are the better choice. But they probably will keep Ringo. Alright, for the linebacker position, Zach Cunningham and Nakobe Dean. Zach Cunningham and Nakobe Dean are your guys. This is a no-brainer right here. Alright, for the backup linebacker position, I went Morrow and Van Sumeren. He didn't have a great last preseason game. He did almost have a sack against Anthony Richardson, but he didn't break down, and Anthony Richardson just got around him like nothing. Morrow, and then Morrow, he should make the team. He can play special teams, and he's a phenomenal tackle. He's a tackle machine, as you can see. He tackles Jalen Hurts. I believe he injured them right there too, to be honest. But yeah, he should make the team. All right. These are the guys. These are the defense. This is like the stars of the defense, right? Fletcher Cox, Davis, Sweat, Graham, Riddick, Carter, and then Smith. Those are the guys of the team. But for their backups, I have Williams, Barnett makes the team. I put Robinson. He did not look great at all in the last preseason game, so you could probably have someone else right there. I have Street on the 49ers. He got a lot of interior pressure for them. I believe he could do that for the Eagles as well. And then I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but he should be the run stuffer in the middle. You have Davis, but why not have 2? Just in case someone gets hurt. And then for the safeties, the starters for the safeties, Blankenship, and then Sidney Brown. I know Edmonds is probably the starter, but Sidney Brown realistically should be the starter. So those 2 should make the team as well. And then Edmonds, Kayvon Wallace is great in special teams. And then Justin Evans, he had a solid season for the Saints. I believe he could do that for the Philadelphia Eagles. He could also play in the slot for them if anything happens to, Slay or Maddox. Alright, that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the roster that I came up with right here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you don't, let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.